Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully, everyone is staying dry and safe during this storm. Welcome to our Working with Sellers class. This is a training on the process that we need to take as realtors when we work with sellers. My name is Robert with Elite Ocean View Realty. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We are recording our session. You can always find all of our video recordings inside of our YouTube channel. If you have not had the opportunity to visit our YouTube channel, please do so. I'm going to go ahead and share with you on the chat right now our YouTube link. All right, so if you guys take a look in the chat right now, I've shared the YouTube link. Please make sure that you go in and you visit the YouTube channel and watch our videos. So we are going to talk about the process of working with a seller from the moment that we have to prepare a listing presentation to actually getting that listing presentation done and what contracts we need to have them sign, and then uploading the listing in the MLS. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, please unmute yourselves, ask questions. I normally answer all of your questions, or if you like to answer if you like to ask your questions via chat, you can also do so. All right. So we are obviously going to begin inside of the resource panel from the Miami Realtors. Guys, we're going to talk about many different programs. We're going to use the MLS. We're going to use IMAP. We're going to use Agent 3000. We're also going to use RPR. And we're going to use Form Simplicity. All right. So let's go ahead and get inside of the resource panel. And we are going to begin first with the MLS. All right, so CoreLogic Matrix. Now, the reason why I'm beginning here is because I want you guys to see if there are any properties that are similar to the one that you're preparing the listing presentation for. You want to know. So, for example, if I want to prepare a listing presentation for a condo at the building 500 Brickell Avenue, let's say I've got in contact with the prospective seller or the owner of the property, and I have an appointment later on this afternoon, and I want to prepare a CMA. I want to prepare a presentation. We need to use the combination of matrix. We also need to use a combination of, well, we need to use a combination of matrix and then also IMAP and RPR and even Agent 3000. So we're going to go ahead and start inside of Matrix and just run a quick search, right? Just run a quick search for condos. And I'm going to go ahead and put it here. And normally I do this type of training for single family homes. Today I choose to do one for condos. So right here, we're going to go ahead and select condo, and we're going to select active. We're also going to select closed sale. All right. And then right here for street adjust, we're going to put in 500 Brickell Avenue. Okay, so this is the actual building where we have our appointment today. Now, the unit number, I know the unit number is 3805, the one that I want to study. However, you're not going to put it here because then that's going to equal to 3805. What you want to see are the results, right? And then the actual unit itself has 2 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms. So we're going to put into 2. We have 10 matches. So this is going to give us an idea of how the market is behaving in this building. So as you guys can see, properties are being sold in the $700,000 range, anywhere from 730 to 770. We have 730 as a low, we have 750 as a middle, right, middle point, and we have 770 as a high. All the other properties are active for sale. So I'm going to go ahead and sort by status to show you all the actives together and then all the solds together. Guys, now looking at this, what is the lowest possible price that we can list our property? So the lowest one actually is $650,000. If you take a look at this property, let's go ahead and see. This is on the 19th floor, and this is what the property looks like. And they're currently selling it for $650,000. Now, if you go down here, you're going to see the days on market, 55 days on the market. Now, let's go back to our results and let's look at the property with the highest list price. That's not fair. That's a penthouse, so we're not going to go with a penthouse. Let's go with unit 3802. Unit 3802 is $795,000. It's on the 38th floor. So the lowest price was on the 19th floor. The highest price, that's not a penthouse, is on the 38th floor. All right, and this is what the unit looks like that's currently for sale at $795,000. All right, of course, you are going to need to know details about your subject property and what your subject property currently looks like. Does it look more like this one? Or does it look more like the one that's listed for $650,000? Now, this one has been on the market for 128 days. All right, 128 days. So study each one of these to come up with a proper price point. Now, let's take a look at the sale that was the most expensive sale, $770,000. This property here sold for $770,000, and let's take a look at some of the pictures. All right, and then of course you make your comparisons, right? You make your comparisons. Now this property sold in 67 days. So it took 67 days to sell. Not bad, 2 months. Yeah, that definitely is a good time to sell, right? 2 months. Go back over here and you want to take a look at the lowest sale, $730,000. And once again, take a look at the pictures, make your comparisons. This is what the condo that sold for 730 looks like. And this property took 44 days to sell. So you want to start your research this way. All right. You already know what the possible pricing point will be. It's definitely going to be somewhere in the $700,000 range. And you can expect to sell anywhere from 730 to 770. All right. Now, if you guys want to throw this into a simple comparable report, you're going to go ahead and select all of them. Right. Select them all. Go ahead and click on print. And then you want to print the CMA one-line summary report with your 3-up comparison. These are your comps that you want to take with you to your presentation. All right, you want to click on print to PDF, and let's take a look at the comparables. All right, so they're going to come out here in a PDF format, and you'll see here that the list price average is $744,000. So that's the average list price. And then the sold price average is $750,000. So being that the average is 750, you need to form your opinion based on whether you think your subject property is higher than the average or lower than the average. Is it above average? Is it below average? I want you guys to know that the properties here sold in less than 3 months. So you got 44 days, 15 days, and 67 days. So it's selling pretty quickly. All right. The properties that are on the market right now, 55 days, 113, 124, 259, 42, 128, and 128. All right, so those are your days on market. This report, guys, goes with the side-by-side comparison so you can show your client. All right, save this, and take it with you on your presentation. If you guys want another style comp, then let's visit IMAP. IMAP is up here, right? And you want to click on IMAP, and I already have IMAP open. IMAP is public records. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to where it says property address in tax search under Miami-Dade County. And we're going to put in 500 Brickell Avenue, apartment 3805. We're going to click on start search. All right. So on the right-hand side, we're going to find the words find comparables. Then we're going to go ahead and click on find comparables. Okay. Now on IMAP, you notice how there's blue little pins or icons everywhere on the map. You want to focus just on that building. You do not want to take comps from around the building. So for that, you're going to come here to where it says located within half mile. You're going to select located within same subdivision. And then we're going to look for comps sold in the last 6 months. Click on update criteria. All right. So we have 3 comps. We have 770, 750, 730. Now, each of these properties are a bit larger than our subject property. There are 2 properties coming in at 1,146 square feet, and there's one coming in at 1,197 square feet. So the fact that each of these properties is larger than our subject property, we get a lower average. Our lower average is 725,400. So you're grabbing the average price per square foot. So take a look here. All right, your average price per square foot of $645 multiplied times 1124, which is the size of your subject property, and you get an average of 725,400. So if you're trying to explain to your customer that your size condo, when compared to the other condos that are slightly larger, all right, when you compare it to them, your price is right around 725 on average with a high of 755. All right, there's a question on the chat. Let me go ahead and take a look. Question on the chat. These comparables can be used for rents as well? No, so not for rents. These comps are for a sale. If you want to do comps for rent, I'll go back into Matrix and give you a quick example how to run comps for a rent. Okay, so we've pretty much figured out that we can sell our property for, let's say, $750,000. All right, so we've got that out of the way. Okay, now I am going to need some type of listing presentation. Okay, so I like to use RPR for my listing presentations. Now on the right hand side in IMAP, you guys can look for the RPR logo, which is right here. If you are inside of the resource panel, you can also look for RPR, and it's going to be down here. However it is that you want to log into RPR, you can go ahead and do so. I'm going to go ahead and click on RPR from inside of IMAP, and it's going to open up the property. All right, so 500 Brickell Avenue, apartment 3805. Notice that RPR is giving me an estimated value of $729,750, so almost $730,000. Now, that's a 5-star confidence rating on this RVM. So we feel pretty secure on this price of 730. Now, if you guys want to build a presentation, I recommend that you build a presentation using your own CMA. So you want to click on create a CMA. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and run through some of these steps. Confirm facts, basically confirming the details of the property are 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms with 1,124 square feet. Make no changes and just click on confirm facts and close. The reason we're not making any changes is because we're running a CMA for a condo. How many changes can you actually make to a condo? Can you add an additional bedroom? Can you add an additional bathroom? You know, can you add more size to the condo? You know, most probably not. So that's why you don't make any changes. Next, you got here, search for comps. So let's click on find comps. And we are going to search for comps that are active, pending, and sold. And we're going to search for comps during the last 6 months. And we're going to search for comps that have a minimum of 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. All right. Now let's go ahead and take a look over here in the map. You have all of this. If I was to click on search, it's going to show me all the properties around. Watch. I'm going to go ahead and click on search. You see how it's showing me properties all around the Brickell area? We want to concentrate just on that building. So we can come here, we could open up geography and click on micro neighborhood. We're going to use the micro neighborhood. That's going to go ahead and say this area right here. Now, this area is known as Brickell Heights. Take a look. All right. That's pretty much the 2 buildings. That's 500 Brickell, and that's the neighboring tower. Okay. We're going to go ahead and draw a shape if you want to. So you guys can draw a shape. I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangular shape around, and I can do this as well. So you can do geography, right? You can do geography, or you can draw a shape. I drew a shape around the actual building. I don't want the neighboring tower. This is why I only drew this shape around this building. All right, here are my sold comps. We have 730, 770, 750. Pay no attention to this one coming in at 157. That must be a mistake. Maybe that's 757, but they recorded the price incorrectly. So we're going to go ahead and select this one, and this one. And we're pretty much between 686 and 755. When I click on update valuation and close, we're going to be around $725,000, right? So pretty similar to what IMAP told us. All right, very similar to what IMAP told us, 725 for. All right, so as I get ready to build my listing presentation, we're going to come here and we're going to go and click on create a report. All right, we're going to click on create a report. And we're always going to do the seller's report. Now, pay attention, guys. Seller's report could be as large as 81 pages, and we definitely do not want an 81-page report. So click on seller's report and decide what you want to appear on your seller's report. Notice how I have removed a lot of the elements of this report. I do not like an 80-page report. So I am going to remove some of these elements and we're going to shorten our report. My report is somewhere around maybe 12 pages long. All right. I'm going to leave this really up to you guys because this is pretty much by preference. You know, you may prefer to have certain pages in your report that I don't want on my report. So I'm going to leave this up to you. Just know that once you remove some of these elements, it does become fixed. It's saved as your default. Okay. So I'm also going to include all of my cover page elements, right? I want my name, I want my agent photo, I want all of this information on my cover page. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and click on run report, and my report's going to be ready in a few minutes via PDF. So if you look up here, reports are being generated. So while I wait for this report, I also want to mention that aside from a CMA presentation, you also want to take some type of marketing presentation, and you can get a really nice one using Agent 3000. All right, so I want you guys to go back to your resource panel and I want you to look for Agent 3000, which is right here. Now, guys, we do have two Agent 3000 classes. We have the marketing class from Agent 3000, and we also have the CRM class, which is the contact manager from Agent 3000. So take a look at our calendar of upcoming classes and look for the Agent 3000 classes, or you can always go to the YouTube channel, look for my previously recorded Agent 3000 classes if you cannot wait for the class to show up on the calendar. All right, so let me go ahead and show you the CMA presentation. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page. And it still says 2 minutes remaining, so we're still waiting for that presentation to show up. All right, so question from Drew, where can you find the classes in the calendar? If you can reach out to Help Center. All right, helpcenter@gmail.com. Sorry, no, wait. Elite Help Center. So Elite Help Center @gmail.com. But I'm also going to upload the next 3 months of classes in this chat. So give me 1 second here. Elite Help Center @gmail.com, and they can send you a calendar. Now, if you guys take a look in the chat, I'm also going to share with you real quick a spreadsheet that has all of my classes up until December. All right, so give me 1 second while I look it up. And I've just loaded the classes, upcoming classes from September to November. All right, so you guys can download that and plan on taking these classes. All right, so let's take a look. This is your CMA report. Now, guys, if this picture is not acceptable to you, then go back here to the RPR, right? Go back to RPR and then come back over here to the actual property. And you guys can always upload your own photo. All right, you guys can always upload your own photo for this property and use your own photo. All right, so right here, we're looking at all this information and you guys can always upload your own photo for the property somewhere in here. I'm kind of losing it right now. I can't find it, but it's in here somewhere where I can upload photos. Let me see. I kind of lost it. I don't remember where it is now. But anyways, it's in here and I don't want to hold you up on this. So it's in here where you can upload a photo. But let's take a look. This is the RPR CMA report. So take a look at your cover page and then take a look here. 725,000 is your comp analysis. It gives you some information on the property. It gives you a map. It gives you your side-by-side comps. And it gives you this comparable sold for $730,000 and it's sold in just 76 days. Excellent comp. This one here sold in 67 days and it sold for 770. And then this one here sold in 35 days for 750. All right, so taking a look here, the median list price is 750. And then of course, the median price is 750 and your average is slightly below. Why is the average slightly below? Because our subject property is slightly smaller than our comparables. That's the only reason why you have a smaller average. Talk to your seller, let them know that based on price per square foot, the average is 725, not 750. However, your seller may say, well, Robert, I still think I want to sell for 780. Then go ahead and list the property for 780. All right. Doesn't mean that you're going to sell it at 780. You may sell it at 750. All right. But just know that the average is actually 725 or $645 a square foot. All right. So now we have this, of course, we save it, right? Save it to your computer. Let's log into Agent 3000. Let's log into Agent 3000 and take a look on the left-hand side. The report that I want you guys all to create is a seller's update or seller's hack right here. So we're going to go ahead and click on brand and market. Brand and market and click on branded ebooks. So we're inside of Agent 3000 and we're going to create a seller's guide. All right, we have seller's guide, 5 hacks, buyer's guide, and first-time home buyer guides. Guys, create this. Make it part of your presentation. All right, upload your photo, add our logo, add your bio. If you guys have a short bio, you want to add a bio. Let me show you how easy that is to add a bio. Okay, let me go to my website real quick here. Let me copy my bio. All right, so let me click on about. Here's my bio. I'm going to go ahead and just copy it. And let's go here to Agent 3000. I'm going to plug in my bio right here. And then we're going to go ahead and click on create an ebook. All right, so my ebook is being created. It's going to be the seller's guide. And once it's ready, I'll open it and show you that you want to download this and make it part of your presentation. All right, so let's refresh. Here it is, created today, October 8th. Let's open the PDF. So this should also be part of my listing presentation. All right, this is going to be a home seller guide. It's got my branding on it and it's got my information. All right, experience the difference. Then you have a table of contents. It's going to talk about their needs, discussing their home, market conditions, organization and maintenance, lockbox and sign, photos and videos, open houses, pricing, home inspection and appraisal, about, and then your contact information. Guys, when you sit down with a prospective seller, all right, when you sit down with a prospective seller, you want to make sure that you have something to talk about. It's not just, hey, I'm here, let's sell your property. No, let's talk about, our presentation. All right, so discussing your home, market conditions, talk about the market, organization and maintenance, go ahead and talk about the exterior and the interior of the property, how it should be cleaned up and ready to present. All right, so question from Jose, can this be changed to Spanish? No. So this presentation is only available in English, unfortunately. All right, lockbox and sign, let them know that you're going to be using a lockbox if that's the case. And then, of course, any kind of marketing sign. And then photos and videos, you want to talk about professional photos that you're going to hire a professional photographer to take photos and videos of the property. Open house, let them know that we are going to host several open houses in their property, bringing more exposure to their property. And then benefits of proper pricing, let them know, the benefits of pricing the property correctly. Obviously, if they are thinking of a higher price, let them know the downfalls or pitfalls of overpricing. So pricing the property correctly can get their property sold in less than 2 months, as you saw in the comps. All right. And then here, home inspection and appraisal, let them know that in most cases, an inspection will be performed on their property and an appraisal will be performed on their property. And then here's the about section. So here's your bio, right? Here's your bio. And the last thing is your contact information. Present this first, then present the CMA report. So take this PDF, which is 14 pages, take this PDF, which ended up being 11 pages, and then talk about pricing. Do not talk about pricing the first thing you do when you get in the door for your appointment. Because if you and the client don't agree on pricing, then they may just ignore you the rest of the time. Talk about your experience in the market. Talk about the the conditions for condos. Talk about the different areas in Brickell that are coming up, right? And then talk about pricing, and you should earn that listing. All right, guys. So once again, the seller's guide through Agent 3000 and your RPR report, both are presented in English. If you guys need a CMA presentation in Spanish, you can always go to Matrix, right? You can always go to Matrix, find your comps, click on CMA, and then switch the CMA presentation to Spanish. And you can perform an entire CMA presentation in Spanish. All right, I want you guys to take a look. We have everything in place. I'm gonna go ahead and click on finish. All right, we're gonna view the CMA presentation in Spanish inside of Matrix. Now, I didn't pick a subject property. I just wanted to show you that there is a CMA presentation you can create inside of Matrix. All right, so it's in Spanish, and you can have an entire presentation done in Spanish inside of Matrix. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and close out IMAP. Let's go ahead and close out RPR. Let's close out these PDF files. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen once again. And we're gonna go into form simplicity. All right, we're gonna go into form simplicity. Guys, so aside from taking your seller's guide with you and your CMA presentation, you may also want to take a listing agreement already prepared, right? So for that, we're gonna go inside of form simplicity. Where's form simplicity? It's here inside of your resource panels, right here, form simplicity. Go ahead and log into Form Simplicity, and we're going to create a new transaction. See right here, start a new transaction. We're going to click on that. All right. And then the address of the property is 500 Brickell Avenue. So let's put over here 500 Brickell Avenue. And this is apartment 3805, right? 3805. And I'm going to call the transaction name the same as the address, right? So 500 Brickell Avenue. This is going to be a residential property type, and it's going to be a listing. If we are preparing an offer because we have a buyer, then we normally select purchase, right? If we're preparing a CTL because we have a rental offer, we normally select lease rental. We are going to select listing. And then you guys want to include the exclusive right to sell package. You want that package. We have grouped all the forms together for you. The exclusive right to sell package is what you want. You're going to go ahead and click on create a transaction. And my transaction is now being created inside of Form Simplicity. The next step, guys, is to auto-populate information from public records into your transaction. So you don't have to enter all that information manually. So follow me here. Click on import property data. See right here? Now we are going to import this from tax search. We're not going to import it from MLS search because the property is not on the MLS. So you come over here, you click on tax search. The house number or building number is 500. The street name is Brickell. Okay. The unit number is 3805. The zip code is 33131. Okay. And then the county is Miami-Dade. The county is Miami-Dade. So enter 500 Brickell 3805 zip code Miami-Dade County find tax data. And here's the tax data down below. All right, so go ahead and click on select. It is now going to auto-populate the folio number, which is the parcel ID number. It's going to also auto-populate the legal description and the owner of the property and everything else. So go ahead and click on save information to the transaction. And now you have all the information on the transaction. Now, what would you like to list this property for? That is a question or an answer that you may want to leave for your appointment. If you guys already know what you want to list a property at, then put the list price there. So for example, let's say we already know that we'd like to list a property for $775,000. So we put here 775,000. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and click on save data. Now take a look at your documents. So which documents do we really need? We need the exclusive right of sale listing agreement transaction broker. If you did not choose a package, then you still have an opportunity right here to add forms package. It's simple. You open it, you click on exclusive right to sell, and here are all the forms, and just click on add to transaction. Okay, that's simple. So we have the listing agreement. You do not need a modification to the listing agreement because that is when once you have a listing agreement and you want to make changes, then you need the modification to the listing agreement. You don't need that right now. Okay. We have a short sale addendum. We do not need this. This is not going to be a short sale. We do not need a commission agreement. We do not need a referral agreement. Okay. We do not need a compensation disclosure. Okay. All we need is the exclusive right to sale listing agreement. So I'm going to delete all these other forms that were part of the package, right? We're going to go ahead and click on delete on the upper right corner and click on delete here. All right, next. You may want to add, let's see here. You may want to add no lead base because this was built after 1978. And then the condo rider is going to be sent to you during an offer. The HOA is also going to be sent to you during an offer. You may want to add the seller's real property disclosure. So go here to blank forms and then simply go here to the right where it says search and write the word sellers. Write the word sellers, search for it, and it's going to be the seller's property disclosure residential, and then you have the seller's property disclosure condominium. You need the one that says condominium if you're doing a condo for sale, and you're going to need the residential if you're doing one for a single family home that's for sale. So go ahead and add that one as well. All right, guys. Now let's go ahead and open up the listing agreement and let's prepare the listing agreement together. So here we have the exclusive right to sale listing agreement. We have here the owner's name, Martin G. Gustavo, right? That was auto-populated from the tax roll. And then we have the brokerage, which is Elite Ocean View Realty, LLC. You can also put in here a hyphen and then you can put your name. All right? You can put your name. Oh, didn't like that, huh? So I'm going to remove LLC. All right. Let's put here Z. All right, so Elite Ocean View Realty hyphen Robert Rodriguez. All right, so here is our date for our listing. So let's say we're gonna go ahead and get this listed today. All right, so go ahead and put in here October 8th. Now, if you're preparing this listing agreement without a date, that's fine. You can always fill in the dates at your appointment. All right, so if you're just preparing the listing agreement and you don't have a solid date yet, just leave this blank and prepare it at your appointment once you come to terms with the seller. Normally, you like a listing agreement to be at least 6 months, if not a year. So we're gonna go 6 months from now. All right, so November, December, January, February, March, April. So April 7th. All right, April 7th is when this listing will expire. That is a 6-month listing. Here we have the street address of the property. We have the legal description. All right, what personal property, including all appliances, are included in the sale of the property? Right here, we have written for you all appliances. If there's any other personal property that's also going to be included in the sale, go ahead and write it here. Occupancy, is the property occupied? Property is or is not occupied by a tenant. In this case, let's go ahead and say it's not. Let's say it's actually vacant or it's occupied by the owners. If the property is occupied by a tenant, then you need to write on the right-hand side on what date does that lease expire. So you need to ask the seller, hey, I understand the property is occupied by a tenant. What's the lease expiration date? All right, so we're gonna put it here on the listing. All right, so when it comes to pricing, we're gonna go ahead and try and sell this property for $775,000. Now remember, if you're taking this without having an agreement yet on price, then leave your price blank. Write it in at the appointment. Write it in at the appointment. Financing terms, of course, you can accept all cash, conventional, no VA, no FHA. This is a condo building. All right, so cash or conventional. If you're selling a single family home and it's within FHA limits, then you want to also accept FHA. If the seller says, I do not accept any FHA loans for whatever reason, then you're going to remove FHA and VA. All right. If there's any other type of financing that the seller's willing to accept, like assumption of existing mortgage or seller financing, go ahead and check those. So we're going with financing terms, cash and conventional. All right, come down here and let's take a look at paragraph number 8. All right, so there are 2 paragraphs that talk about compensation. Paragraph number 8, compensation. Seller will compensate broker. Who's the broker? Us, Elite Ocean View Realty. So right here, we've built in a 4%. We want you to be as aggressive as possible. If 4% is not possible, then drop it to whatever you agree on. So once again, this may be a field you want to leave blank and fill it in once you're at the appointment and you've come to terms with the seller. So the seller needs to understand that the 3% we just put here is the 3% they are going to pay me to represent them to sell the property. Okay, move on to number 10. Number 10 is compensation to buyer's broker. Now you also need to explain to the seller that this is fully negotiable and they are not required to pay a compensation to the buyer broker. However, in most cases, most sellers are still compensating buyers brokers some type of percentage. If your seller opts to not pay for compensation, letter C, no compensation will be offered to the buyer's broker, then they're risking their property staying on the market for a lot longer than it should. Because not many buyers are going to want to show the property maybe if a compensation is not being offered. So we need to talk to our sellers and we need to let them know, although the law now states that compensations are fully negotiable and there is no obligation to pay compensation to a buyer's broker. In most cases, most sellers are. So what would be the compensation. So let's say we get them to agree to a 3% compensation to the buyer broker. So in this case, it's still the 6% that we are accustomed to charging, right? 3% here and then 3% down here. Let's say they say only 1%, right? So we're only going to offer 1%. That's fine. Remember, the buyer agent should have secured a buyer broker agreement with their buyer for a certain percentage that they're going to earn as compensation for their work. So in this case, any buyer agent that approaches me and asks how much compensation is my seller offering, my seller's offering 1%. That means that the buyer agent needs to also make some compensation from their buyer, whatever the difference that may be. So any combination here works. If your seller agrees to a 5% total compensation, then you can go 2.5 and you can go here 2.5. Or you can go 2% for the buyer and 3% for you. Okay, but it needs to be disclosed. You need to tell the seller, hey, seller, you agree to a 5% total compensation, and we're going to split it this way: 3% for the listing agent and 2% for the buyer broker. Guys, make sure you always check letter B, or letter B, that says seller authorizes broker to offer compensation to the buyer's broker from the seller in the amount of 2% of the purchase price. So at the closing, the 2% is coming out from the seller's proceeds. Do not check A. All right, we do not want the broker to compensate the buyer broker, right? We don't want seller's broker compensating the buyer's broker. We want the compensation to come straight from the seller. All right, so let me go ahead and switch this back to like 2.5 and 2.5. All right. So we want to show the seller that they agree to a 5% compensation and that we're going to equally split it. 2.5 for me, 2.5 for the buyer broker. All right. Everything else, guys, pretty much is standard. We've already pre-filled a lot of this for you. In the additional terms, it also says seller will pay a $495 transaction broker fee at closing to Elite Ocean View Realty. That is our transaction broker fee for any sale, whether you represent a seller or buyer. It's a $495 transaction broker fee. Okay. And then go ahead and finish it off down here. You're going to see that seller's initials are, seller's signatures are required, and then your signatures are required. Broker or authorized associate. So guys, sign it. Maybe don't date it yet because you don't know the date yet, but sign it. Okay. Now, keep in mind, those of you that are looking at the listing or the listing agreement for the very first time, every single page, there are initials that need to be applied. So page number 1, seller's initials, your initials under broker authorized associate. Okay. Page number 2, we need seller's initials. All right. We need seller's initials and your initials. All right. So page number 3. Once again, you're going to need the seller's initials and your initials. Page number 4, under dispute resolution, seller's initials, your initials. Under arbitration. And then down here, page on the bottom, seller's initials, your initials, and then seller signatures and your signatures. This is a completed listing agreement. Save it. Take it with you to your presentation. If you've already done your presentation and you just want e-signatures, right here is the option for e-sign. Those of you that have e-sign, all right, you'll be able to use it. Those of you that do not have e-sign, you can upgrade on the upper right corner by clicking on upgrade, and you can pay for the e-sign. E-signing or electronic signature costs $84 for an entire year. Unlimited use of e-signatures. All right. So go ahead and upgrade for that. Otherwise, just take this agreement with you. All right, guys, eventually they're going to ask you for, like when someone presents an offer, right? They're going to ask you for a seller's property disclosure. So this is the seller's property disclosure that's going to be filled out by your seller. You do not fill this out, okay? You do not fill this out. So right here it says seller's property disclosure condominium, guys. It's pretty much a questionnaire, and the seller must answer each question truthfully, to the best of their ability. It's either going to be a yes, no, or I don't know answer. All right, you're going to have your seller sign it at the bottom. And then once you get into a contract with the buyer, you're going to forward this seller's disclosure. So the buyer receives it, acknowledges everything the seller is saying when it comes to the property, and they're going to also sign it. This is required after the contract has been executed, right? So that's a seller's disclosure. Make sure you add it. Now, guys, I did add here a modification to the listing agreement just in case you guys need to see it or need to use it. Let's go ahead and open it up here and show you. If you need to make any changes to a listing agreement, a current listing agreement, all right, we have here the information, right? The seller's name, our name, and then you have termination date will be. So if you're going to extend the listing to a new expiration date, put in the new expiration date. If you're going to make any changes to the price, then do price and terms will be. So any new price or any new terms, you write there. Compensation, any compensation to either us or the buyer's broker, you want to put it here, okay? And then any other changes down here, including cancellation of the listing. You need the owners to sign this, and you need to sign it in order for this listing to change, reflect the changes on the modification to the listing agreement, guys. That is only to be used when changes are necessary to the listing agreement. So far, so good, guys. You guys have any questions on this? You guys are doing very well. Thank you so much. All right. So now you go to your listing presentation and you get the listing, right? You get the listing. Hopefully, you have your camera and you can take some initial photos. Let them know that you're going to take some initial photos and that you're going to have a professional photographer go and take professional photos within the next couple of days. If you trust your iPhone or your Android and it's a nice camera, or if you have a professional camera, take it with you and take some photos. Make sure there's plenty of lighting in the room, right? Make sure there's plenty of lighting in the room, and you take photos of the property. Next step is go back home, go back to the office the next day or that evening and upload the listing in the MLS. Upload the listing in the MLS. You want to go here to Matrix and you want to go to more and you want to click on Add Edit. Now, I am not going to take you through every step of uploading a listing. I want you guys to know we do have a class called MLS Add Edit, where we do practice how to add a listing in the MLS. There is a video inside of our YouTube channel for that same class. All right, if I take a quick look here, I may be able to find it real quick. All right, so listing maintenance, I think it's called. There you go. MLS listing maintenance for Elite Ocean View Realty. So go in here, take a look at this video, learn how to add a listing in the MLS. So go to Matrix, go to more, go to Add Edit, and then you're going to click on Add New Listing. It is a condo, so we're going to go ahead and select condo. It's in Miami-Dade County, and then the street number is 500. The street name is Brickell. And then the unit number is 3805. And then you're going to come here, you're going to click on search. Once it finds it like this, Gustavo, there it is. You're going to go ahead and click on fill. All right, this is an active listing, not a coming soon listing. There's a difference. Coming soon means we're not ready to market the property yet. However, we want to load a preview into the MLS. So coming soon, stay in coming soon status for 21 days. After 21 days, it will automatically convert to an active listing. All right, so we're not doing coming soon, we're doing active. And then basically, guys, move from page to page, filling out all the yellow required fields. Fill out all the yellow required fields. Guys, go to location information, go to general information, go to remarks. All right, under your remarks, you have 800 characters to fill in a description of the property. Sell the property. This is you marketing the property. Do not write your name. Do not write your phone number. Do not write your email address. That is a violation of MLS rules and regulations. To write your name, phone number, and email address, go to broker remarks. In broker remarks, you can say, contact Robert for showings, and then put your phone number. That is acceptable. It is not acceptable to write that under remarks. You will get a fine. You'll get a warning. And if you don't change it, you will be fined by the MLS. Remarks is a public description of the property showed to the entire public. Broker remarks is a private message to any real estate agent using the MLS. So the public does not see broker remarks. Only realtors see broker remarks. All right. Put in some special instructions to other agents under broker remarks, and then internet remarks. You only get 150 characters to sell the property, right? So make sure that you do your best to briefly describe the property in 150 characters or less. All right, guys, go through the remarks, go through rooms, go through additional information, go through financial information. Fill in all the blanks. Make sure you know what the HOA fee is. Make sure you know how often the HOA is paid. Okay. Make sure you know what the taxes are. The taxes amount was 9806 because it was auto-populated from the tax roll. Okay, make sure you know all this information. If you are co-listing this with another agent, on the bottom, right below your information, you're going to put that other agent's license number. And you are co-listing with the agent. At the end, you want to click on validate. Validate is going to check if you have any mistakes. Watch what happens when I click on validate. I am full of mistakes. Why? Because I have not finished. So at the end of your listing data entry, you click on validate. If you got red markings, you got to go back to each page and fix what you have not completed yet. Once you have 0 red markings, then go to submit listing, and your listing will be submitted to the MLS. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on save as an income. Actually, I'm going to click on cancel input. If you need to save this, right, because you need to come back and work more on it, then click on save as an incomplete. All right. Obviously, I'm not going to save this. This was just an example. I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel input and click on OK. Now, guys, if you want to upload photos, take a look. I'm going to go to more, add edit, and here are some of my listings. I'm going to go ahead and click here. This is one of my listings. If you need to upload photos, simply come here, click on manage photos, and upload the photos to the listing. Upload the photos to the listing. You can upload up to 99 photos. All right, you can come here, click on browse, and upload up to 99 photos. And you can change the location of the photo, the sequence of the photos, and then come here and click on certify and save. You can delete any photo by selecting and hitting delete check photos. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. That's your photos. Also down here, if you're going to host an open house, see right here where it says open houses, click on that and then enter when is your open house. Is it a public open house? Is it an open house for brokers only? That is the difference between broker, open, and public. So it's a public open house. Go ahead and say, what's the date on Saturday the 12th? Start time, end time, description of the open house, and click on submit listing. You just created an open house that's going to be marketed to all real estate agents that you have an open house scheduled for Saturday at the specified time. All right. That is how you add an open house. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. If you guys need to configure your showing assist, you see right here, configure showing time. So if you want to give special instructions to the real estate agents, how to schedule a showing with you through showing time, click on configure showing time, and you're going to configure this listing inside of showing time. Basically, letting people know that you are accepting appointments through showing time. Appointment is required. All right. You have appointment required. You have go and show. So go and show is usually reserved when you have the property on an electronic super lockbox. All right, for my listing, this is a real listing here. Appointments are required. And then there's also view showing instructions. All right, make sure you save that. Okay. And that is your showing time. Now, guys, once you get an offer and you present the offer to your seller and your seller accepts the offer, now you are under contract. You want to go to your listing, right? Go to more, go to add edit, select your listing here, right? Select your listing, and then you want to go ahead and change it to active with contract. All right. Do not change it to pending right away. Change it to active with contract, and you're going to leave it under active with contract until you have cleared all contingency periods. Basically, until you have cleared inspection period, the property has been appraised, and you are clear to close. Once you're clear to close, go ahead and change it to pending. And then after closing, then you change it to sold. It is your responsibility to change the status. Once you change the status to sold, it's going to ask you who sold the property, right? Who is the realtor? Who is the realtor who sold the property? Put in their license number and answer all the information as best to your ability. What information is that? I'm going to go ahead and show you. Change the sold. All right. Closing date. Buyer, country of origin. Where is the buyer from? What type of financing was it? Was it a cash transaction? Was it a conventional? All right. Sold price. Was there any seller contributions to this transaction? Who was the selling agent who brought you the buyer? And then submit the listing, guys. That's what you need to do. Of course, I'm not going to change it to sold. We'll leave it inactive. All right. That is your process of working with a seller. Guys, make sure that all documentation you acquire during this transaction, you send it to our transaction coordinator. Once again, every single document must be sent to our transaction coordinator. If you look inside the chat, I'm going to go ahead and write their email address. It's eliteofficetc@gmail.com. eliteofficetc@gmail.com. Please send all documentation, your listing agreement. Once you get an offer accepted, send the offer. Let them know that you have an offer accepted on your listing. Once you go to closing, all right, and you get the final HUD statement, the closing statement, send it over to Elite Office TC. Also, you're going to have to send a disbursement form letting them know how you're going to, what you're going to get paid, and also the walkthrough inspection form. All right, eliteofficetc@gmail.com is our transaction coordinator. And you may also want to copy me. I usually stay on top of all this that's going on. My email is robertr.miami@gmail.com. robertr.miami@gmail.com. Guys, there's so much more to this. If you go to your listings, you guys will have virtual tours, right? You'll have virtual tours that are created. This is a virtual tour from from the listing. All right, it has audio. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and activate the audio real quick here. Well, let me refresh this. Click for audio. All right, don't forget that you can always use Agent 3000 for a lot of marketing, so you can create nice looking marketing pieces for your listing and so much more. All right, so attend some of our marketing classes, attend some of our different classes. Guys, reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to assist all of you with your questions. And if you guys have any questions right now, please let me know before we close out our program. Any questions? You couldn't see my screen? Yes, I noticed that. Let me show you real quick that virtual tour that's part of the listing. So take a look here. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the listing, click here. So that's actually free. It's created for you. Once you enter the listing in the MLS, within 24 hours, you can go here to virtual tour, click on it, and it's there. Also, again, make sure you go to Agent 3000. There is several marketing tools that you can use to market your listings through Agent 3000. All right, guys. All right, perfect. All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure bringing this class to you, working with sellers. If you have any questions, you guys can always reach out to me. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join us on our training. And please stay safe. Please stay dry. You know, we'll get through this together, guys. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, take it.